Hello, my name is Tavi, and welcome to my first serious post on this account. In this video, I'm going to do what I do best, and that's turning non-human characters into humans. And if you read the thumbnail, then you already know our victims for this video are the Among I and Among Us. That's a tongue twister. Now, if you grew up in the 2020 lockdown era, then you already know how big of an impact Among Us was back then. Everybody and their mamas were playing. I actually remember getting grounded because instead of being on online school, I was playing Among Us. Oh, and the memes, bro. You couldn't go a second on the internet without seeing an Among Us meme. People were posting Among Us shaped objects. People were making beats, turning comics into Among Us. It was everywhere. If 2020 ever got brought up in a conversation, I'm pretty sure 2 topics would get brought up. And Among Us. That's how popular it was. So lo and behold, while I'm scrolling on Instagram, I come across a post about a new Among Us animated series, which I obviously handle like a normal person. Then a couple years go by, and I honestly already forgot about the announcement until June 5th, 2026. So I watched it, and I loved it! So now we're here, turning every single character into a human. Now, this video has a little bit of spoilers, but not really. So if you haven't watched the show, click off and come back later. But if you have watched it, or you don't really care about spoilers, let's go. So first I'm going to start off with the unpaid intern, Green, which isn't because they're the main character. I think all the characters are kind of main characters in their own way, but Green is the first one we meet, so it only makes sense to start off with them first. Green off the bat seems to be an adorkable type character, but not like the Disney trope of adorkable. In my opinion, they're actually better and entertaining to watch, so I really wanted to capture that in this design. They were looking a little bit too cutesy for my liking, so I decided to add a little bit of stubble, since they did used to work on a farm after all. I really wanted to incorporate Mira's logo on Green's hat, but it didn't really look that good, so I eventually decided to scrap it. And with that, here's the unpaid intern, Green. Then after Green, you meet the other new crewmate, which is White. So they're a bit of a snobby rich kid. Right when they introduce themselves, they talk about how they're on TV, how they summers, as a verb, on their yacht, and how they won this free space trip from a wine court. So to make a long story short, White is loaded, but they're not annoying, which is very refreshing in my opinion. I love rich characters where they're nice, but not complete jackasses. Like for instance, Elle from Legally Blonde. I wish we could have seen and learned more about their character, but I mean, you should have waited to drive the ship. I don't know what to tell you. Also, side note, I could not do their hair for the life of me. I don't know what happened, but in the end, I did manage to do it, so we're good. After I finished this drawing, I saw a lot of people drawing them in a Hawaiian shirt, and I was kind of thinking like, man, I should have done that. But honestly, the vest I gave them is very cute. And in the end, originality is key. Then after we get to know Green and White, we meet one of Mira's HR executives, Orange. Right when I heard their voice, I already knew how I was going to design Orange. There wasn't a doubt in my mind. Orange is voiced by Yvette Nicole Brown, which you might know from popular shows like Community and BoJack Horseman. Orange is such an enthusiastic character, and I really wanted to incorporate some of Yvette's spunk into my Orange design. Also, I added some small details to indicate which crewmates are the imposters. So if you caught it, comment down below and I'll like the correct answers. I really love their little trust ball gag and how they cherish them with their life. It's just so adorable. And here's Orange. Then Orange starts leading Green and White around the spaceship to meet some of the other Mira employees. And speaking of voice actors I was literally foaming at the mouth when I heard Kimiko Gunn voicing Cyan. I am in love with her work. I loved her from Waitress all the way to Horse from Centaur World. Her voice is that addictive. And I'm not even going to get started with her singing because we're going to be here all day. So I'm just going to focus on her design. I had a good idea of what I wanted their design to be, but I wasn't really sure about the hair. I tried a braid, short, long, but eventually I settled with giving them an updo. And I just couldn't draw their little headband thingy, so I gave them some flowers instead and some small hoops. I really like how they treated everyone on the ship with nothing but kindness, even befriending Purple after they had a heart-to-heart. They are literally an angel, metaphorically and literally. They can't have anything. And with that, here's the gemologist, Cyan. I'm really confused on why their name is Black. I mean, I know why that's their name, but their shade isn't even black. It's more like a dark gray, but whatever. I honestly don't have much to say about Black. Their design is cool and all, and I really like their rave outfit, but they're kind of boring, not gonna lie. I don't know, maybe I was too busy fangirling over Kimiko to focus on Black. Actually, not playing in y'all's face, because they did have a lot of lines that I found really funny, and I do like their dynamic with Cyan, so I need to stop lying to y'all, I'm sorry. I was kind of struggling with what kind of alternative style I wanted to give them, because I saw a lot of people giving them a goth design, but they didn't really scream goth to me. They kind of give off more of a grunge style, but I don't know if I portrayed that well. Then I gave them a buzz cut because I couldn't find any alternative hairstyles I liked, but then I caved in and gave them a little bit more hair, but looking back it still looks like a buzz, so mission failed successfully, I guess. And here's the G-ologist, Black. Lime is the ship's engineer. They are also an ordained minister and, most importantly, a crazed conspiracy theorist, so it would only make sense that they would be one of my favorite characters. I have a very special place in my heart for crazy conspiracist characters. They're just so great. And every single line coming out of their mouth was so funny, dude. This character was written perfectly. No notes. I honestly thought they would live longer. Actually, I was hoping and praying they would live longer. But, you know, they knew too much. But not enough, actually. Like, if they had one ingredient, they would have killed the imposters. Like, it would have been over right then and there. Blue is the ship's doctor, and they're everybody's favorite. They got everybody blushing and swooning. But don't get fooled by their pretty face. They're one hell of a doctor. Literally the definition of beauty and brains. They actually almost found out who the imposters were by making everybody on the ship take body scans, finding 2 scans without bones. But unfortunately, they forgot to write down which scan belonged to who. But nonetheless, they knew too much and had to go. R.I.P. the GOAT. I actually used this drawing as a promo for this video on my TikTok. By the way, you should go check out my TikTok account, and my Instagram, and my art fight if this video still comes out while art fight is going. Man, I hope I post this in time. I really wanted to advertise my art fight, but I was really busy, so this video is pretty much the best way to advertise that. I'm getting off track. I gave them a mustache, and I really like the mustache. And here's the ship's doctor, Blue. Yellow and Brown are the ship's chefs, and I'm gonna play their speed paint at the same time because I have to. They're intertwined, okay? They're like this. Yellow and Brown are also my favorite characters next to Lime, but they're in front, actually. In order, it goes from Yellow, Brown, and then Lime. And I love their dynamic. They match each other perfectly. Like they literally do. They do this little thing in the show where they have to say the same thing at the same time on the count of 3. They do. They say the same thing almost like every single time. And it's just so cute. I love them. I love them with all the love in my heart. I ship them so hard. I do not care. And they lived happily ever after. None of them died. Not a single one of them died. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me or you. It's a lie. They're in love and they're happy. And I just went back to listen over the voice clips, and I said shipped, S-H-I-P. I'm not trying to get demonetized. I swear I said shipped. And in my drawings, I'm trying to make it look like they're doing a little fist bump, It was so cute. And here's the pizza chefs, yellow and brown. I'm not crying, you're crying. Purple is the ship's security guard, and they take their job very seriously, as they should. To be completely honest, I couldn't think of much to say about their character. And I'm not saying that they're a bad character. They're very well written. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's just me though. There was actually one thing I was really interested about learning about them, and that was their relationship with Red. In the show, Purple basically explains how they and Red used to work together on a different ship until the reactor exploded and crewmates had to evacuate due to radiation poisoning. Purple wanted to tell the truth, but Red decided to keep quiet, so Mira fired Purple and made sure they couldn't get a job until Red helped them get hired again. And their relationship has been strained ever since. And because of their fight, Purple doesn't have any other friends except for their pet fish, Heracles. R.I.P. another goat. And here's the ship's security guard, Purple. Last but not least, the ship's captain themselves, Red. Fun fact, Red's voice actor is actually Jim from The Office, believe it or not. Red may be the captain, but don't let that fool you. They have no idea what they're doing. For every decision they make, they gotta look at their little captain handbook. Literally, their catchphrase is from the book. They're just throwing pizza at a wall and seeing what sticks. They also have a little jealous rivalry with Blue because people respect Blue more than them, but that doesn't really last long, and we all know why. Despite Red not being the best captain around, they do have really good leader characteristics, like their iconic Captain Kick, and how they own up to their mistakes during the final 2 episodes. So yeah, I really think Red had some pretty good character development throughout the show, and I really like their Crocs. And here's the ship's captain, Red. And that just about wraps up my Human Among Us designs. I really hope you like how they all came out. I know I sure did. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Keep yourself safe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!